You ready for chapter 10? Here we go. Fred led the way in an all-out sprint. Sam followed him. I followed Sam. One large, angry, woolly mammoth closely followed us all. We were just about to become woolly mammoth toe jam when Fred yelled, "There!" He pointed to two trees about 5 feet apart. Fred dove between the trees. Sam dove between the trees. I tripped, jumped, hopped, and felt the tip of one giant tusk push me between the trees. The woolly mammoth's head followed us, but the rest of his monstrous body didn't. It slammed into the two trees and wedged there fast. The mammoth trumpeted and shook its tusks, but it couldn't move forwards or backwards. We took one look and ran until we couldn't hear its mad blasts anymore. Do you guys understand what they did? There were two trees that were kind of close together, so the boys ran through them, and the woolly mammoth tried to follow them, and he got stuck in between the trees, okay? We finally collapsed and sat under a giant fern, just trying to breathe and stop our hearts from pounding. I searched the prehistoric and unfamiliar forest all around us. "Man," I said, "what is next?" Sam studied the small patch of sky that showed through the branches overhead. By the look of the overcast sky and setting sun, I could say next we better find shelter before night falls. "Oh, great," said Fred. "Mr. Brainpower is back with more bright ideas like find shelter before night falls. I like you better when you just drooled and said, ooh, 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 meh, meh, meh." "So whose bright idea was it to poke a woolly mammoth with a pointed stick?" said Sam. "Whose bright idea was it to come to the Stone Ages in the first place?" said Fred. "You almost got us killed. Well, you got us lost. Nat Lee, you're a jerk. You're a Neanderthal." I can't say that word. "Wait a minute, you guys," I said. "Who just said Nat Lee?" We all looked at each other. "Not me," said Fred. "Not me," said Sam. "Nat Lee." "Over there," said Fred. We crawled over fallen trees and around smashed rocks, following the sound of a voice calling, "Nat Lee!" In a few minutes, we were standing on the edge of a familiar clearing. "It's Ma and her clan," I said. "We're back at the cave." "Yeah," said Fred. "But what happened to the cave?" Ma and the rest of the women stood next to a huge rock at the base of the cliff. Lindsay and Josephine pounded on the rock with their fist. Ma called, "Nat Lee!" "The earthquake must have loosened the boulder and blocked the entrance to the cave," said Sam. "And Nat Lee is trapped inside." "This is our chance," said Fred. "We push away the stone, save Nat Lee, become heroes. Then we can just ask for anything we want." "I don't know," I said. "Remember?" But I was too late. Fred was already in the middle of the clearing calling, "Time Warp Trio to the rescue!" Oh, great. We didn't have much choice but to follow him. Fred didn't even give anyone a chance to be surprised. He walked right up to the rock and started calling out instructions. "Lindsay, Josephine, Sam, Joe, on this side. Push on 3. 1, 2, 3. We pushed. The stone rocked about an inch and fell back where it was. "More muscle," called Fred. He waved the other woman over to push. 1, 2, 3. The stone rolled about 2 inches and then fell back. "We're never going to be able to move this," I panted. "It must weigh a ton." "Ma," a voice called faintly from behind the stone. "We need more muscle," said Fred. "Duh! That's it! They can't be too far away." Fred cupped his hands and yelled into the forest, "Duh! Duh! Boog! Boog!" Ma, Lindsay, and Josephine looked at Fred like he had lost his mind. "Duh! Duh! Boog! Boog!" yelled Fred. Do you guys remember what boog is? It's the food that the guys like to eat. And you won't believe it, because Sam and I didn't either. But like magic, duh, and his whole band of guys just appeared out of the trees. Fred dragged Duh out into the open and over to the rock. The whole time he kept making pushing motions and talking about Boog. The rest of the guys followed cautiously, and in less time than it takes to say Operation Rescue, Fred had Ma, Duh, men, women, Lindsay, Josephine, Sam, and me on one side of the boulder. All together now, yelled Fred. 1, 2, 3. Everyone pushed. The stone rolled slowly up, 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 and then fell back with a thud. Everyone collapsed on the ground. Shadows grew longer, and the sun sank lower. It's no good, said Sam. We can't all push in that small of a space. Ma! Natalie called through the rock. But she's going to die in there, said Fred. I looked at Ma. I looked at Duh. I knew they didn't speak our language, but the look on their faces said the same thing. Oh, I wonder how they're going to get her out of the cave. All right, we've made it to chapter 11. Bye.